Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Arc. I'm Talia Goodman here with Genesis Bryant. Genesis, it's my favorite week of the year, maybe, because all I get to do is watch basketball on a holiday where everyone's, watching football or eating good food with their family, which I'm sure you'll be doing too.
Yes.
But lots of basketball, and that's my favorite thing ever. So I'm excited. What are you looking forward to most about the week?
I think everyone in college basketball is looking forward to those Wednesday games for sure. But most importantly, for me, it's
Yeah.
eating some good food on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. That is a tradition. I'm going to South Carolina, be with family, so I'm excited about that.
I'm gonna have to find a good meal in Vegas. Although the Thursday games, like the second games of the Players Era tournament, fall at like dinner time on Thursday. So I'm gonna have Thanksgiving lunch. That'll be my good food. But
Whatever you do, get some turkey.
yeah, I will find some turkey. I will eat some turkey. I'm very excited about it. At the time you're seeing this, it's I think Monday, hopefully, when you're seeing this one, and I will have already landed in Vegas. So, getting ready for some basketball. Very excited about it. And we got someone coming in today who's going to help us break down all of the best action from next week. And that's Meghan McKeown, who she does it all. She works with the Big Ten. She works with Ion. She does a little bit of everything. She's always on my TV. I saw her on there just the other day. She's on Mom now. She's literally like done it all. And she's the best person we could possibly have on to talk about these games with. So let's bring in Meghan McKeown to break down the action. All right, now we will welcome in Meghan McKeown, one of my favorite people. I'm seeing you everywhere. Like I want to use this reference as a movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. That feels like your life. Your life is
Wow.
you're oh
Honestly, like I also kind of feel that way. But thank you very much. I'm so excited to be on, and I just want to start by saying both of you are doing such a great job with covering women's basketball and helping to elevate the sport. And so I appreciate the work you all are doing to get us to where we are.
thank
Thank you.
We
Yes.
appreciate that. I love seeing you on my TV. Pretty much, I feel like it's every night now that I see you in some
I feel that
capacity,
way too sometimes, but
right?
it's a good problem to have, right?
Right.
Definitely is. And this is my favorite week of the year that we're in right now. At the time everyone's hearing this, it'll be Monday morning. So this is my favorite week ever. It's feast week. We're bound
More
for
than March Madness?
I can watch basketball from like 10 a.m. to like 12 p.m.
For real.
every day.
Yeah,
Every day, like the whole
fair.
week.
It's totally fair.
And sometimes I feel like these games can be better than March Madness. They can tell you things that'll help you down the road. I don't know. I love it. I've never had a real Thanksgiving. This is my Thanksgiving, so I'm used to it now.
That doesn't shock me in the Goodman household for
No.
some reason. Feel like that's been the case since you were, yep, right out of the womb. Yep.
They're happy now because I'm 22 and we can do Vegas instead of like Bahamas or
Oh,
Florida. We can do
say
Vegas.
less. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna be a good week of hoops. We got some great games on the slate, and we're gonna go through them with you. Starting, we'll go Monday and we'll end with Sunday. Although I don't know if we can technically count next Sunday as Feast Week, but we're gonna do it anyway. Uh,
Wonderful.
we start off pretty strong on Monday, though. The game I'm looking forward to most on Monday is Ohio State Belmont. I think we've seen what Belmont has been able to do to some powerhouses this season already. They're one of the best mid-majors in the country. Megan, do you think they're going to be able to give Ohio State some trouble?
Oh, absolutely. And I go back to that Tennessee game that
Mhm.
Belmont played. It was really tight. When you watch Tennessee play their style of play, they press, they play really fast, tons of possessions, they want to shoot a ton of threes. It's very similar to how Ohio State plays. They want to press, they want to shoot a ton of threes, they play really fast. I just had Ohio State UConn last week, and in the first quarter,
Yeah.
that was a very tight game because Ohio State was kind of able to set the pace. They were able to knock down some threes, but then they're young. They still have a lot of pieces coming together, so it kind of like slid to a bay or to a halting stop, and UConn took over. But Belmont is one of the best mid-major teams in the country in terms of women's basketball. They've always been solid. They've always been fundamentally sound. Can't sleep on them. So I would say this is going to be a really interesting matchup. You saw how they were able to slow down Tennessee and able to kind of grind it out and make it a half-court game. If they can do that with Ohio State, there's a very good chance that they could win this game.
Genesis, who do you think is going to win this one?
I think it's a battle of chaos, like Megan said, versus discipline. I think personally, I think Belmont might have the upset.
Okay. I like it. I mean, with the schedule they have, they're bound to get one, right? They're bound to get one of these upsets if they're playing everyone this close.
Yeah.
I look to their Oklahoma game and what they were able to do to them, obviously up until kind of midway through that fourth quarter. And I was super impressed. And they're a well-coached team. If they're shooting the ball, they can get hot. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching that one. The next one on Monday, and we'll just quickly do who do you think's going to win this one? Another interesting one between a Big Ten team and a really good mid-major who just had a big upset. We got Minnesota USF. Who's going to win this one, guys?
I'm low key high on Minnesota
Yeah,
just because they can defend. They're holding teams to what, like I think it was 48 points, something like that, so far this season, which is bonkers. It leads the country. Don't quote me on that number. That could very much change by the time this airs, but it's number one in the country, I do believe, scoring defense. Number two, they have depth and balance with returners, which I think plays a huge factor in terms of like this time of year and being successful. And then number three, like you have to like prove that you're a legit team right now.
Yeah.
Don Plitzuweit kind of scheduled not as tough a season ago, and they were right there on the bubble of the NCAA tournament and missed out. But I feel you got to make sure that you are like, this is a good litmus test. Where are we at? Good measuring stick before we enter Big Ten play.
Yeah. I got Minnesota in this one. I was also high on them heading into the year. I think USF could maybe give them some trouble, but I don't even know if it'll be close in this one, in my opinion. I think Minnesota has the edge.
Same. I think Minnesota's always a well-coached team, and I think they'll bounce back with this one.
Yeah.
Man,
Tuesday.
she's showing the Big Ten love, of course, our Big Ten girl.
Yeah,
Have to.
there you go. I love it. Tuesday is a little bit scarcer for a schedule, but just quickly, we have Oregon St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's could give them some trouble. I watched them yesterday, and they're a good team. Yesterday meaning, oh, I don't know what day of the week it'll be or what it is right now, but as of when we're filming this, Oregon is good. Obviously, some injury struggles. Katie Fiso has been really good as of late. So it's interesting. I think Oregon will still pull out the win on that one. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I love Katie Fiso's game. Last year, I was like, Coach,
I know.
I don't know about this Katie Fiso.
Right. Why are we playing her more? Let's get her in
I'm
there.
like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, we might get Virginia, Nebraska. If the brackets shake out, it's hard to keep track of all the bracket stuff. I'm going to go Nebraska on this one, even with the injury struggles they're having. Virginia has looked a little rough lately. They don't have Samaya Smith. When they get her back, I think it might be different. But as of now, I'm going Nebraska.
I'm with you. Big Red, 1,000%. I had them against Creighton last week. They looked like a well-oiled machine early on. Britt Prince
Oh my
is going
God.
to be talked about a lot. I mean, she's a great playmaker, and she continues to get better. I've been really impressed with her early on.
Yeah, she was good as a freshman. So I've had my
Yeah, you
battles
played
with
against her.
Nebraska. Of course, they knocked us out
What
of the Big Ten tournament.
the other thing with Nebraska is that they have so many returners from last year.
Right.
Like their core is back, and you're seeing right now the teams that have been so good early on are the teams that have their cores back.
That's true.
Them in Minnesota. That's why I was high
Yeah.
on both of them because they're in
Mhm.
similar situations. And I think
Mhm.
they certainly have the edge there. We're really like Big Ten slanted right now, guys. We're all Big Ten.
We're not complaining. Come on, IU in Illinois.
I know, we're all in. Now we got to get to what I think is maybe the best day of the week, Wednesday. I'm going to be in Vegas for these first couple, so I'm very excited to watch these in person. And the one I'm most excited about it does not have Duke in it anymore. It does not. It might have had Duke in it at the beginning of the year. Now it's Texas, UCLA. I think this one could be a real battle. And UCLA has kind of proven at this point they've passed their tests. They have the depth, as we've talked about before. They have the talent. Texas, I think, has both of those things to a little bit lesser of a degree, right? In my opinion, right now. What do you guys think?
Look, UCLA has looked like a Final Four team.
Yeah.
Like since they started out this season, there's been no, maybe they struggle a little bit here. No, like they have looked like a Final Four team from the get-go. Love how they've challenged themselves early on. That was a huge win over Oklahoma that they had, and they made Oklahoma, who's a high-scoring team, not score a lot of points. Like they were, I think, held to like under 70, which is crazy to think. You look at it, how they played against UNC, who's a really good defensive team. It really didn't take time for them in the second half to pull away in that game. They've been tested already with some power four teams. They are really balanced. Gianna Neepkins was one of the biggest gets in the portal for the
Mhm.
in this. I mean, huge, just to add like an extra scoring punch.
Yeah.
You know, they lost London Jones to USC, who is a great shooter, but to add in someone like Neepkins, who's a really dynamic scorer, has been massive for them. And then Texas, like to me, UCLA, Texas, like these are two teams to me that could be in the Final Four.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
Texas, like obviously Madison Booker, one of the best players in the country. So I'm excited. We're going to learn more about Texas than we will about UCLA.
Yeah.
I expect UCLA to win this game. If Texas does, I'm like, okay, y'all are really the real deal.
Yeah. What do you think, Genesis?
Yeah, I'm not trying to agree with Megan with everything, but great
Good
minds think
takes.
alike.
You better, Genesis, come on. All right, your mentor, come on.
But I would have to agree. Like you see, I think who a lot of people isn't talking about enough is Hawkes. I think Hawkes at UCLA, she is really getting them going. I know at the time I looked, she was leading them in points, and she's tied for rebounds with their big. So it's like Lauren Betts and Hawkes being tied for rebounds. That just shows her aggressiveness as a guard position. And I think she's really been the one that's kind of leading them in certain areas and getting big buckets at big times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still high on Texas, and I think regardless of how this game goes, I still will be because you're playing UCLA, who I think I messed up last week, guys, and I think I should have had UCLA as the number one team in the country for what they've done so far. Obviously, UConn has been absolutely dominant, but Florida State not as good as we maybe thought heading into the year, so that win doesn't quite mean as much. Louisville, I think, is still a good team, but probably somewhere in that 20s range. Uh, and Ohio State probably similarly. So I think with the resume UCLA has, what they've been able to prove so early on, like I'm beyond impressed with them. I think they got the edge in that one. Second game of the day, less exciting than it was a month ago. But you know what? Like Duke played well in Vegas last year. I was there. They could do it again. They're facing off against South Carolina. Megan, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
You know, I love the way that Duke traditionally defends, and that's what got them to the Elite Eight last year, right? Like their ability to, well, that was the Elite Eight, I believe, right? Yeah, last year. Um,
Please.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like their balance in terms of getting into the paint was huge, but like I don't know what's going on there. South Carolina on the other hand, they've looked fantastic.
Yep.
I was speaking to someone earlier about like, you know, what conference in general has been overperforming, properly performing, and underperforming this
Yeah.
season. Big Ten completely overperforming. They've
Yeah.
only lost a combined 8 games as a conference as of Thursday night. Um, just like the teams they're beating, the quality of teams they're beating, the way they're beating them, overperforming. Properly performing the SEC. We know how good the SEC is. They haven't surprised me at all. They're beating the teams they're supposed to. They're dominating the way they're supposed to. And South Carolina is certainly like no stranger in that category. I thought they looked great against Clemson, especially
Yeah.
like to Clemson, who was like a highly touted ACC team. People were like, this is like a sleeper, you know. They made Clemson look bad.
Yeah.
So just like the defense early on. And I like the fact that like Tanaya Latson has a significant role. Obviously, it's not the same role as Florida State in terms of just like constantly being relied on for scoring, but it frees her up more because you have Joyce Edwards and you have Tessa Johnson. You have all these different players that can score. So you don't have as much of a focus on you defensively. Underperforming conference right now, by the way, is
I
the
know where that's
ACC.
going.
Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. And more so, we don't have a clear cut, like who is the dominant, who are the best teams in this conference? I don't know. And
I don't have
it's
a number one.
almost a month into the season. I don't know who they
Like,
are. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for them to kind of figure some things out.
yeah, I thought the ACC was gonna run through the triangle again. I don't know if it is. Like, I don't know. Like, NC State has looked good in spurts, but they're not quite there yet. Same with North Carolina, and Duke is just kind of a hot mess right now.
Yeah.
So they got to get their stuff together. Genesis, who's gonna? Is it? Do you think? Yeah, South Carolina by 1 million?
South Carolina. I think it might be I'd say South Carolina, but like maybe 20.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think Duke, this is the game they're going to really show up for. I do. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to show up and they're going to look better. I don't know if that'll necessarily show up in the score, but I think they're going to look more cohesive, hopefully.
And to your point, Talia, if Duke wins this game,
Yeah.
I think they silent all the things that have happened before and it totally like erases most of what
Yeah.
happened earlier this season in terms of losing to teams you shouldn't.
Yeah, I think if they win this game and look good while doing it, and South Carolina like has everyone like I think that there are factors to it, but I think yes, if it's a good game, Duke looks
Mhm.
convincing, then I agree with you there.
Mhm.
Um, Last game we could see on Wednesday is Ohio State, West Virginia. We've already talked enough about Ohio State, so we'll just go predictions on this one. I think West Virginia's got this one in the bag.
I agree with you, West Virginia, only because Ohio State still has so much youth. They're trying to figure out a lot of different things. And like somebody not named Chance Gray and Kennedy and Jelani Cambridge need to find a way to consistently score.
Yes, I agree.
I think I'm going the opposite. I think Ohio State got this one.
Oh, come on, Big Ten.
I think with them being tested early with Belmont, I think the West Virginia game, I think they're gonna kind of get in the film session and learn their weaknesses a little bit earlier, and I think they might pull out with West Virginia.
All right, all right. We'll see what happens. We got to move this along because we got to get through these Sunday games before we got to get let Megan go. We will go quick on Thursday. Just who you think's gonna win? North Carolina, South Dakota State. This might be one of the games I'm looking forward to most. I think it's gonna be close, and I
Yeah.
think South Dakota State's gonna win.
Wow, I love that going on a limb there. I'm gonna go with UNC still because like their defense is so good and Coach Banghurst like after that UCLA game was like, what are we doing? Come on.
Same. I think I'm going UNC.
All right, I'll be the one on the limb here on that one. Then other Thursday game, the one I'm most excited for, another kind of similarly stacked up game, TCU Richmond. I
Oh,
got TCU in this one, even though I'm really high on Richmond. I am. I just think TCU is an Elite Eight caliber team right now, and they look like it. So I got to go with TCU.
Olivia Miles is playing so well. Her playmaking, I mean, and it has been like 2 seconds since she's been at TCU, so I've been impressed. I'm with you, TCU, but I do love me some Richmond, some Maggie Dugan, and I can't believe she's still playing because
Of
she
course.
feels like she's been there forever.
Right. I agree. I think the length and size of TCU is probably going to overpower Richmond.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna skip Friday's games, head straight to Saturday. This is a really fun one for me. Miami, Oklahoma State. I'm actually so pumped about this game because Oklahoma State obviously just lost their first, real test against St.
Mhm.
John's. And I think they're gonna be very, very determined to get back on track here. And I do think they are a top 25 caliber team facing off against Miami, who I think, should make the tournament this year. They have
Mhm.
Gallerby, they have Arshea Kyle. They have so many new players, but they've also they're just working on that chemistry. The talent is there. I'm not concerned about that. It's just having them come together. I do think Oklahoma State is going to be, they're going to want it more, I think. So I think they're going to come out with the win here.
There's been a lot of momentum in that program in general, and they're trying really hard to like make their presence known on a national level. And I've been
Mhm.
impressed with the talent they brought back. Like I love what Coach Hoyt's been able to do in terms of getting the like they play hard. And I love watching them play. It's like a fun brand of basketball to watch. So I'm gonna go Pokes.
I'm going to go Oklahoma State.
Yeah. All right, we're sweeping it there. We'll see if what ends up happening. And then the last day we will go over Sunday. I don't know if it's technically Feast Week, but it is in my mind. And I'm just as excited about it. There are two, neutral court games I'm really excited about, and then two that are kind of normal, regular old games that I'm equally as excited about. Fairfield, Iowa. Oh my gosh, I think I've been looking forward to this game for so long because I genuinely think Fairfield could win this game. I do. It's going to be tough at Iowa, right? Like that's a tough place to play, a tough game in general. And I think Iowa has the edge, especially being at home. But I think Fairfield could really give them a lot more trouble than they gave, North Carolina.
Fairfield, oh, I love watching them play as well. I texted Coach Tebow the other day. I was like, Megan Anderson's leading the nation in scoring right now.
Right.
Like, shout out, Stags. Um, all that to say, Iowa, I was not all in on Iowa, but
Mhm.
Iowa to me early on, like still trying to like figure out like who's scoring, who's not. They beat you by playing so fast, and they were like scoring in the 90s. They beat Baylor and they played in the 60s.
Right.
And that's a really good sign to me where you can win in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's helpful. They have a size advantage over Fairfield.
Yep.
Um, so I do think Iowa 1,000% the favorite going in there at home. That is the hardest place to play. I mean, Genesis can tell you, like
Yeah,
it's just really hard to play there. If this was a neutral site game, I'd say Fairfield could win like
I agree.
1,000%. But since it's at Iowa, I'm giving the Hawkeyes the edge.
We're on
I
the
really don't say the same thing. Playing in that, I mean, the way the gym is set up, it's like they're on top of you. It's
It's a
almost kind of
bomb
like similar to
shelter,
Indiana.
first off.
Exactly. So I think just it
Yeah.
being home court advantage, I think Iowa will pull this out.
Yeah, I honestly think these are two fairly evenly matched teams, though. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we'll see that. But it feels like at first glance, these are two fairly evenly matched teams, and this could be a tournament matchup that we see, and I might have Fairfield favored in that. I don't know. But I'm excited to watch it. Then, oh my goodness, Tennessee, UCLA. Oof, what a game is that? Like Tennessee struggled early on in the season. They did. They couldn't find their groove. The offense wasn't really doing what it does. What it does, like what you expect from Kim Caldwell's system. They had a good game against MTSU on the road. Obviously, won by many points. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was like 30 or something like that. But
Double digits.
yeah, double digits. But UCLA is like a different beast, and this is where they have to prove that they're still the same team they were last year, in my mind. And last year, their thing was losing a lot of close games, and that they've been able to pull out some close wins. They've lost one. I think this is one that would make a statement for them. All that being said, I do not think they're going to win this game. I think it's UCLA.
Yeah, I think it's UCLA as well. Just the way that UCLA is really good at dictating pace. When you go against
Mhm.
Tennessee, they've got one pace and it's fast. And they haven't really proven yet that they can play and win at a slower, grinded out pace. Whereas UCLA is like, oh, you want to play fast? Cool. Let's actually switch this to the way we want to play. If you don't play slow, up, all right, awesome. We're actually gonna play a little bit faster now. So their ability to dictate pace gives them such an advantage in addition to like having Lauren Betts, who's like the ultimate cheat code. I mean, come on.
I
I'm
agree.
going
I think
UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA. I think the only way Tennessee gives it either close or can possibly win if they make their threes. I mean, we know they shoot a ton of threes, so if they get hot from the 3-point line, I think that's when it'll be a close game.
And if they can turn over UCLA, which like they
Mhm.
can, like if they can score though and capitalize off that, especially with three
Yeah.
shots, it's 1,000%. Yeah, good point.
Megan, do you think UCLA could win the title this year? Do you think this is,
Yes,
yeah, you think this is their year? This
I
is
do. I
like,
do think they early on they look good. That
yeah.
could change, but I do feel like they look good. I like the way they've scheduled in the non-conference. They've like scheduled some really big tests, and you just look at like what Lauren Betts is doing. Like she's trying to be a little more positionless, and she's trying to like play out and defend on the perimeter, like all these little things that like you have to be able to do in the W. And I
Yeah.
think that she's really done a nice job. And we like don't even talk about Kiki Rice anymore, which is insane because like she's Kiki Rice. Like,
Right.
People come off the bench and like, what?
and their X factor, Genesis like talked about this is Gabriella Hawkes. Like, I mean, she's just been so consistent and
Yeah.
good. And sometimes you
Mhm.
just need that steady Eddie like role player, and she's been able to fill that role.
And they don't even have Sienna Betts back. Yeah.
No, not yet.
Can you
I'm
imagine?
excited to see her play. Yeah, I'm like you just
Mhm.
you're adding more depth,
Add
and they can
another.
shoot like
Give me
yeah,
more.
they got dogs.
Right.
Mhm.
They definitely do. Two more games that we could see. We don't know if we will. They're bracket games. I hate predicting bracket games, but if they end up like this, Iowa State, Indiana is one that I think could be really, really interesting. Indiana has looked interesting. In the first few games, they struggled mightily, especially against Marshall. I was at that one, and obviously they turned the ball over 28 times. Had a really good performance the other day against Butler, like a very,
Mhm.
very convincing performance. Florida State, good road win. Florida State's not what they were last year, but still a good road win.
Mhm.
Um, if Lene Belmont is on, I think this team's potential raises 3 levels. Well, I think Iowa State has this one in the bag. I think they should win with these, but what do you think?
The depth that Iowa State has, it's too, and especially the depth in the paint. Like Audie Crooks, I can't imagine anybody who can like really match up against her in terms of who the Hoosiers have. So probably Iowa State on this one, even though I do love me some Terry Morin and
Yeah,
company.
I know.
Love Indiana, but I do think Iowa State is going
Yeah.
to win this one.
I mean, like I think they could be a top 10 team. I think Iowa State should be a top 10 team with the talent they
Mhm.
have. And I thought they should be last year too, and they didn't end up. So we'll see if they kind of live up to those expectations this year. The last game I want to go over is a really fun one. It's not like it won't be the most watched game of the week, but it's really fun, and I will be one of the viewers. Michigan State, Clemson. Like you said, Megan, I think Clemson was kind of that dark horse team for everyone in the ACC, including myself. Michigan State has not been tested at all this year. Their
Mhm.
schedule, it's been like, not to knock on a different team, but it's looked a little like LSU's schedule has this year. So we don't know a lot about the Spartans yet. I mean, I have them in my top 25. I expect them to be really good
Mhm.
this year, but I don't know. We saw Oklahoma State struggle after having a schedule like that and playing well. Are we going to see something similar from Michigan State here?
I think Michigan State's size with Van Sluten and with how they play in terms of pace is going to be like the edging factor. Watching
Mhm.
Clemson and South Carolina, they just really struggled guarding the paint. And so, like, when you have a couple of different players on Michigan State who can play inside outside, I think they're going to struggle to guard with the size,
Mhm.
just like an early prediction. So, I'm going to go Sparty on this.
All right.
Michigan State. I think their defense too. I mean, they're great at turning people over and capitalizing on the other end. So I think their defense would be a lot for Clemson.
I'll take Clemson with the upset. It's feast week. I'm going upsets. Come on. Give me a
Go
few.
for it. Go
Uh,
for it. I like
I
it.
will take it. I'm very excited for Feast Week. Megan, we really appreciate you coming on to talk to us. We know you got many, many games to call and that you'll be at, and I will be watching them. So I'm very excited and always love getting to talk with you.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, Genesis, one thing I think that we forgot to talk about is what happens in the second round of that Players Era tournament. Let's say, who did we have? We had South Carolina winning, we had UCLA
Mhm.
winning. That's a really tough, that's like potentially the best matchup of the year, Genesis, if we get that. What would happen?
That's a potential. It could be a potential Final Four matchup as well. Later in the March, April area. But I think that's a real tough one.
I don't know. I don't know if I can make a call on a game like
Ooh, I think, of course, it matters the progression throughout the year.
this. Yeah.
No one have any injuries or anything of that nature. But I think to where they at right now, I think UCLA. It's a close game. I think maybe two
They're
to three
further along.
possessions, but I
Yeah.
think UCLA comes out with the win.
I agree. I think they're further along right now. I don't know
Mhm.
if that's how the season will wind up going. I think South
Yeah.
Carolina will adjust. They have some freshmen who may take some time to get there. They also have Tanai Lotson, who's easing her way into her new role, right?
Yeah.
And so I think as she does that, this team can only get better.
Yeah.
But where they're at right now, we've seen what UCLA can do. We talked about that.
Mhm.
They've proved to me that they belong,
Yeah.
with the upper echelon of this, national picture. So I think
Mhm.
I gotta go with the Bruins if that happens. But also, like, if Texas wins, what, like, we're gonna see Texas, South Carolina again. So what a matchup that'll be. Like, that's crazy if that ends up happening. But anyways, Vegas is gonna be fun. I'm very excited about that. Who, like, of these games that we've just gone over, who do you think needs one of these wins the most? Like, who needs to get a win in wherever part of the world they're at?
That's a very good point. I think, ooh, who needs to win? I think Tennessee. I know that's a Sunday game, so I don't know if we're really counting it, but I think Tennessee because they struggled a little bit early, especially when they can't shoot a three ball as well. That's when they struggled the most. I think if they get a win against UCLA, who could possibly be the number one team in the country right now, I think that would be a really pivotal win for their season.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think that, yes, they're a team that I think North Carolina against South Dakota State, that's a win you really need if you're them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few, like, even games we didn't talk about with Maryland, Kentucky, which is a great game. I don't know how we missed that one. I think both teams need that win. So
Right.
that's really interesting to me. I think, Maryland is projected to be one of the best teams in the Big Ten this year.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky doesn't have Georgia Amore anymore. We'll see what Tony Morgan can do in a high level matchup like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I think that'll be another really interesting one to keep an eye on as well. But I will be keeping an eye on all of them. We're taking our holiday break to eat good food and watch some basketball. But
Yes.
back to recap, all of what happened. I'm sure it'll be a longer episode than usual
Yes.
because we got a lot to talk about when we get back from this. But on to Feast Week, right?
Let's do it.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you again next week.